to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dami, also known as Damaris Dash, a bit weird.
You need to change your username.
My username.
Because your preferred nickname now is Dami instead of Damaris. Yeah. I don't know where I was. This is episode 174. See, I'm totally thrown already. It's your fault. This is the first episode of 2016. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of January, 2016. We're glad to have you here. We'd like to say a big I think I've forgotten since before New Year's how to do this. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers, and a big hi to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. I would say that was an abnormal introduction, but honestly, it probably is not. So, Mare, we have quite a few people who have joined the Ravelry group and introduced themselves this week, so why don't you give them a shout out?
Okay. Kathy, who is Huck Mom from Illinois. Carrie, who is Norma Des from Pennsylvania. Jody, who is Jody333 from Washington. Victoria, who is Cherry Pie 21 from England. And Kelly, who is Knitchick78 from Missouri.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you guys. Thanks for introducing yourselves. So, Mare, if somebody's not a member of our Ravelry group, what should they do and why?
Join and introduce yourself in our introductions thread because you will get a shout out on our next episode and you will be able to participate in our cows and giveaways.
That's right, which we have a giveaway winner to announce today. And we have a brand new cowl that I'm so excited to announce today. I've already announced it in the Ravelry group and social media, but I thought of it since we finished after we had recorded last week's episode. So, well, since we all have all that to talk about, we probably should get started. So here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what's on our needles.
So what's on your needles, Mare? Sorry, Dami, what's on your needles? See, I'm so used to it, I gotta switch over.
I'm still working on a super secret coffee shawl. You should tell them the thing.
Okay, so see, this is gonna have to be our title somehow. Dami is sample knitting all of my my new patterns for the coffee book, which I don't think I've told them what the name of it's gonna be.
Okay.
Coffee with Cece, a 7-pattern caffeine-inspired knitting collection. That was the subtitle there. And pre-orders, because I've had several questions about it, will start at the end of January. I believe it's the Thursday the 28th. I think that's right. But I'll announce it on that podcast that releases that day. So, what are you knitting now?
A super secret coffee shawl. It's on US 2.53 millimeters, and the yarn is Rainbow Heirloom Lush Light in the Killer Flamingo Apparition and Blue Raspberry colorways.
I love them. They're so beautiful. And I love how the shawl is turning out. So, but that one takes a while to knit because it was 300 gram skeins of fingering weight yarn. So,
and then I'm working on Super Secret Coffee Socks 3. They're on US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters. And the yarn is the Uncommon Thread Tough Sock in the Nutcracker colorway.
Yes.
So there's the bottom of the foot.
So since there's only 2 of them, that means you have some FOs this week.
Yes. So
okay, anything else?
No. What's on your needles?
I have 3 things on the needles now because winter camp started, so I'm able to, I was able to cast on the stuff that I had been waiting to cast on. So, let's see here. First up, I'm working on my zigzag blanket, which is the 10-stitch zigzag pattern by Frankie Brown. I'm on US 4's 3.5 mil needles, and since last week, I finished the last 3 of the, it was Knitting Goddess and the Flower Power colorway, but I ran out right there, and so I had to do the last zigzag and a bit in another skein of yarn that was gifted to me, and I don't know what it is, but it color matched, so we made it work. And now I have added, hold on, I can't remember the name of I think it's Batat hand-dyed yarns. This is their dough yarn in the Hullabaloo colorway. So it was a golden skein colorway, but I don't have enough of it. So I am alternating I'm doing, so I have 20 zigzags in a stripe, and so I'm going to do 2 hullabaloo, 1, this is West Yorkshire Spinner Signature 4-ply in the
Poppy seed
colorway, so it's this nice gray. So I'm doing 2 hullabaloo, 1 poppy seed, 2 hullabaloo, and repeating that 4 times. So, and this is stripe number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I am knitting one of those a day because that's the only width that counts for winter camp. You can get 1 point per square or per zigzag or per whatever your sock yarn blanket is. Next up, I have a sweater for me on the needles. This is the Puntilla, is that how you would say it? Sweater by, I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it Joji Locatelli or Joji Locatelli? I think it's Joji, but I'm not sure. But you know who I'm talking about. And I'm using US 3's 3.25 mil needles and US 5's 3.75 mil needles. And most of the sweater is in this. Oh, you can't see the sparkle. Oh, a little bit. It's got silver sparkle in it. There's a little bit right there. This is Knitting in France Sparkles in the Something About CC colorway. So of course I bought the whole lot. And then when I finish the sweater, there's a little bit of lace edging on the sleeves and the hem. And I'm going to do that in this right here, which is Ripples Crafts Hand Dyed Yarns in the Piquine. Is that what we decided?
I don't know.
I think it's Piquine. It's Afrikaans for penguin. And this is 60% wool, 20% silk, and 20% yak. So won't that be lovely together just as that little trim edging? So that's what I've cast on. And so now let me show you what I've gotten done. So you work the back, and then we're going to put it on waist yarn, and then you work the front, and then you join them together and then knit in the round. So I'm still working flat right now, but I think I've gotten quite a lot done for just since New Year's Eve at 7 p.m. So this is the back of the neck right there. Can you pull down on it? And so that's how much I've gotten done. So I have to go until I think I have to have 9 1/4 inches at this point, because this is taller, but you measure here on the selvage, and I think I'm up to like 5.5 now, so I'm over halfway there. But I am knitting this continental, which is the first time I've done a full project continental style. And I'm doing the largest size on this because it calls for, I want to say 10 to 12 inches of positive ease. So it's boxy and oversized, and it's really lovely, and I'm so excited to be knitting that. That is in my freaking love knitting bag from Kelly Connor Designs. And then the third thing on the needles is obviously a pair of socks, because I cannot not have socks on the needles. So this is from my Cece's Vanilla Cappuccino Socks pattern, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm on US 1.5's 2.5 mil needles, and I'm using Third Vault Yarns Ship's Mechanic Sock in the Faster Than Light colorway. And this is how it's knitting up. How fun is that? I love it. It's not my normal colors, obviously, but so I've made really good progress on this. I also cast this on New Year's Eve at past 7 o'clock. Because that was for the winter camp. So I will keep going on the leg until I get to the end of the toe, and then I do the cuff. So I'm more than 3/4 of the way done with this first sock. So I am making good progress on it. And that's everything that's on my needles. So let's move on and see what we finished.
And now we're going to talk about our finished projects, because I finally finished something.
I noticed that I missed a place in the show notes changing your name.
Shaking my head.
There we go. Oops, now I gave you 2 eyes. So, Dami, what did you finish this week?
I finished the super secret stripy coffee sock. There's just one of them. It's on US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters. And the yarn is the Knitting Goddess UK 4-ply British wool and nylon in the Asaro self-striping colorway. So here is the bottom of the foot.
I love how it turned out.
You're not allowed to see any of the pattern.
No. So what you're trying to do is get one sock done of all the patterns, and then if you have time before the photo shoot, you're going to go back and knit. Careful, don't show.
I'm not showing.
You're going to go back and knit the second one.
Yes.
Okay. So there's that one, and then you finished another one as well, but you can't show it.
I can't show it. I finished the Super Secret Coffee sock 2. It's US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters. The yarn was a Secret Pandia's Jewel Snug Base yarn.
And I love how it turned out too.
So you can't see it.
No, not yet. It won't. It's not too long. A couple months.
So where did you finish?
I finished 2 things. So I am again doing 52 preemie hats this year, but I used a different pattern for the very first one, and then the rest of them probably will all be my pattern. But for the winter camp, each month there is 3 categories you can earn bonus points in, and so this hat that I did, I earned bonus points for using a featured designer's pattern. I earned bonus points for using one of the 2 colors for the month, and I earned the 3rd set of bonus points for knitting the item of the month, which it had to be something to wear on your head. So, here is my first preemie hat of the year. This is the Pico Hem Preemie Hat by Amanda Schwab. It's on US 1's 2.25 mil needles, and it is an unknown blue fingering weight yarn. So this one so what you do is you cast on, but it's a provisional cast on, and then you knit quite a few rows. I don't know if you can see there. And then you do the row to make the picot, and then you knit more rows, and then you put the provisional cast on back on regular needles and fold it up and knit the provisional cast on and the current row. And that's what gives you the picot, and then you're knitting, and then decreasing. It's a free pattern, so I'm not giving away secret sauce. But it took me... Oh, I just dropped one of my FOs on the floor. It took much longer to knit this because it was fingering weight than my normal is DK Sport worsted weight hats. So, but I finished it. I think I got 67 points for this. That's a lot of points. So I finished that, and then I finished my Happy 2016 socks, which is also from my CC's Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern, which is free on Ravelry, on US 1.5's 2.5 mil needles, and this is Knitting in France Superwash BFL and nylon in the trio colorway. I love how it turned out. Isn't that beautiful? I love how it spiraled. There's the heel. So I really, really, really like these. They're very pretty. They turned out really... I love the technique that she used to make it pool that way. So, yay. So, yeah. So I finished those socks. And I finished them on Christmas Eve. I mean, not Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve. My sock got caught on my earring. I finished it on New Year's Eve. But, like, 4 or 5 hours before I could cast on for winter camp, and I was like going nuts.
She cannot sit still.
I mean, I don't knit all the time when I'm sitting down, but knowing that I was sitting down and I couldn't knit, yeah, I was going nuts. We colored in our adult coloring book for a while, and I played games on my phone and iPad, and I don't know what else I did, but yeah.
She can't sit still.
So I was very glad to be able to cast on my my winter camp projects. So there they are. I love how they turned out. Yay. All right, well that's everything I finished. Yep. All right, let's move on to the next segment. Yep, I am. Oh, it's me. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are yummies, Dami?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. I really must have forgotten how to do this podcast in the week since we last did it. I don't know. Craziness. Well, I had a message this week from someone, and I'm blanking right now on who it was.
I don't know.
who was like, how do you make such perfect pom-poms? And I was going to talk about it in FOs, but then I didn't make a pom-pom on this week's preemie hat, so I'm going to talk about it now. So I keep my pom-poms in this lovely little bento bag that you can tie, and it's got a snap. So I have, I think 6. I have 6 pom-pom makers from Clover.
That's so many.
I know. I'm trying to get them organized by size, and they're not cooperating. No, I think I got it. There we go. No, maybe. Okay. So I have 6 pom-pom makers. So the biggest one is 3 3/8 inches.
That's really big.
That is very big. And then this one is, see, some of my writing smeared off. This one's 65.
Centimeters? 65 centimeters?
No, it can't be that.
Millimeters.
It must be millimeters, because this is 85 millimeters. So it must be millimeters. So this one's 65 millimeters. This one is 1 5/8 inches. This one is 35 millimeters. This one's 25 millimeters, and this one's 20. So these are the 2 that I typically use most often on preemie hats. But, so what you have is this interesting contraption. And what happens is...
It's terrifying.
It folds apart. And see, it folds, so...
Oh, it's like... Can I see it?
It's like a throwing star.
Oh!
Okay, so what you do is... You unfold 2 of them, and you wrap yarn around back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I typically do it until the yarn is wrapped up even with this right here. And then you cut it, and you fold it in. And then you turn it over, and do it again.
Side.
And then you fold it in. And then you take extremely sharp scissors, because blunt scissors don't work. And you go in this groove right here, and you cut the yarn. And you turn it over, cut the yarn. It doesn't go that fast. And then you use a thin piece of yarn, and so I just have a skein of undyed 4-ply. So you cut a piece off, and you... I don't have a piece cut off, but I can show them what I'm talking about. There went the yarn across the room. So you put the yarn in between that groove where you cut, all the way around, and then you tie it off. And then very carefully, you open up the things, and you need to, I tighten the yarn as I go, and you do that. And then the whole thing is on a pin, and it slides apart. And then you have your pom-pom. And then you trim it down where there's spots where it's uneven. And that is how you make a pom-pom with the Clover pom-pom makers.
The end.
The end. So, if you want to know how I got such perfect pom-poms, that is how. So, I think there actually is maybe one more a bigger size than I have. I think there's one more larger than this.
That's terrifying.
And then there are some that you can make heart-shaped pom-poms. So, I put a link in the show notes to where to get them on Amazon.com if you're wanting to purchase some. Okay. But that is how. And sometimes it still doesn't turn out perfect because since I've started using thinner yarn to tie them off and not just using a piece of yarn that is the same weight as the pom-pom, I don't think I've had a problem. But when I was trying to tie them off with the same weight, it wasn't pulling everything tight enough. And so then pieces were escaping. And then you can use that piece where you tied it off to sew it in to your hat. The end. What do you want to talk about in Yummies today?
Well, you said we didn't have a lot to talk about in Yummies today,
You
so
don't.
you asked if I would show some of the stuff I've been drawing.
Yes, because you've been drawing a lot.
Yes,
In fact, you drew something for my new coffee book.
I did.
You want to show that first? So this is going to be...
It's at the back.
This is going to be how I do the levels of difficulty.
It's a coffee cup.
With that cup of coffee right there. So 1 coffee cup means that it's a
I don't remember.
Oh, wait, it's right here. Just a second.
Hold on.
Hold that thought. Is a light difficulty. So there's 5 levels of difficulty. Light, medium, full medium, strong, and very strong. Because that's like the levels of intensity of coffee that you could get. So there will be 1 light pattern, 2 medium patterns, 2 full medium, 1 strong, and 1 very strong pattern.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you drew that for me, but you've drawn other stuff too.
Yes. So let's start at the beginning. This is a sketch I did like in October of Eliza Schuyler and Alexander Hamilton from Hamilton.
A lot of your pictures are from Hamilton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I drew 2 of the Schuyler sisters. There's Eliza, and there's Peggy.
You have to hold it still long enough that you can see it.
I'm really proud of Peggy.
She looks really good.
Yeah. And then I drew George Washington from Hamilton.
There was a lot of detail on that one on the jacket.
Yes, so many. And the cravat.
So what you did is you pulled up a picture on the interwebs, a photo, and used that as your thing to draw.
Yes, I can't draw without reference photos.
Okay.
And on this page I did some Star Wars sketches on Thanksgiving.
They're cute.
And then I was trying to draw, like, what a female American Revolutionary officer would look like. So I drew 2 versions, but I'm not sure if I got the proportions right on either one.
You're getting there.
Yes. And then this page is covered in sketches. They're slightly terrifying, but then I drew 2 people. 2 people. I like their faces.
Yeah, those are the best faces that you've done.
Yeah. And now I'm trying to work on hands, because they escape me.
Show them what you've drawn.
They escape me.
You're doing really good. Anything else in there you want to show? Blank pages.
Yep.
Good.
That's it.
Good. So have you used either of the things that the hubs and I got for you for Christmas?
I did some stuff in the coloring book.
Okay. And have you taken stuff out of the kit?
I took it out and looked at it yet, but I haven't, like, used any of it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell us about your drawings?
If you know how to draw hands, hit me up, because they escape me.
Maybe you need to take a drawing class.
That scares me.
Well, we'll have to do some research and see what's available. All right. Do you have any other yummies?
No.
Me neither. It was a very light yummies week. But we have a lot of movies to talk to you about, so, in the next segment. So let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. Tell us about it.
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge, and we have a list of prompts for each month. So you take a look at the prompt for that day and post a picture of it anywhere you like. We pick our favorites from Instagram.
So the January one has like New Year's stuff and then also just kind of normal stuff, normal knitting stuff. So what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
That's right, so here come the photos. So those were our favorite photos for the week. It's never too late to join in. It's a good 2016 goal to participate. So take a look at the prompts list. Take a picture related to the prompt. Post it on Instagram with the hashtag GGKCraftyPad, because that's how we find the photos. And yours might get chosen for next week. And we feature them here on the podcast and in the show notes and on all the social medias. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So... and it's really hard to choose a song each week to go with them. I'm like, I need a song. Right. Christmas was easier because it was like I could pick like Christmas carols. Yeah. So, all All right, Mare, why don't you tell us about the upcoming event we'll be attending?
Edinburgh Yarn Festival on the 18th and 19th of March. This year now.
That's right, not next year.
This year. So, here in Edinburgh.
Yes.
In case you couldn't tell.
Yes. So I will be vending with Sam of Knit Run Dig Project Bags. In fact, I have a meeting with her tomorrow over the worldwide interwebs to discuss things. And I'll have my new book. And I'm very excited. So, and I'm not sure what else we'll be attending this year. We'll just have to play it by ear. We'll let you know when we know. All right. Well, I think we're ready to move on to the next segment. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what we're reading, watching, and listening to.
Was there a new Night Vale this week?
No, from now on they're taking the month of January off. They released a slightly remixed version of episode 26 yet, but I don't know what that means because I haven't listened to it yet.
Okay.
I will do that later.
Okay. I just realized we didn't have it in the show notes. So, talk to us about books, though.
Yes, I finished reading and listening to Welcome to Night Vale by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Cranor. The mystery has been solved. The mystery of the man in the tan jacket and King City.
Was it
and Troy.
Was it the baristas?
Well, Troy is the baristas. He's all of them, because there are many of them. He is so helpful.
Is it a clone?
Well, yeah, kind of it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now we know the mystery has been solved.
Yay.
And there's going to be 3 more Night Vale novels sometime. So, I'm looking forward to that. So, now I got to think about what I want to read now.
I was about to ask you that.
Something Austen or Bront, maybe.
You should read one of the things on the list of we can't watch that movie until you read it.
Oh, yeah.
That would be positive. So, what is there on there?
Ender's Game, Jane Eyre, and The Book Thief, I think.
And there's one more.
I don't know what it is. Austenland.
Austenland, that's it. So you should read one of those.
Okay.
Okay. I read a lot this week, because, you know what?
What?
When you have insomnia,
Yeah.
you can read a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the key is to have insomnia, which I had many nights this week, unfortunately. But I am reading nonfiction-wise, The Liturgical Year, The Spiraling Adventure of the Spiritual Life by Joan Chittister. And I'm about a third of the way through it right now. So I'm really enjoying it. It's really, really interesting. And then fiction-wise, I finished the Cedar Cove series by Debbie McComber. So I think I had read through the 9th one prior to this. And then I think the last 3 were new to me. So I finished reading 6 Rainier Drive, 74 Seaside Avenue, 8 Sandpiper Way, 92 Pacific Boulevard, 1022 Evergreen Place, 1105 Yakima Street, and 1225 Christmas Tree Lane.
That's almost the, entire town.
Well, I did 1 through 5 last week. And that's it. That's the end of the series. Yeah, insomnia.
1225 Christmas Tree Lane, really?
Yep.
Really?
And they sell Christmas trees. It's a Christmas tree farm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then, because I still was having insomnia, I started reading the Chosen series by Denise Grover Swank.
And how many did you finish?
Well, I read the first one, which is called Chosen, and then the next 2 were short stories. So I read Emergence and Homecoming. Those were 2 short stories. And then I started the second full book, which is called Hunted.
Oh.
It's this woman whose son, I think he's 4 years old, maybe 5 years old. Anyway, bad men are chasing them, but he could sense them when they were about to find them, and they were running, and then they met up with this guy who had been hired to capture the mom and take her to this secret society. But in the meantime, the son will use some kind of power to connect the guy and his mom, and so now he's like her protector. And now she has powers, like she was shooting fireball energy things in the forest when the bad men were chasing her. But now she's pregnant with this prophesied son. Yeah. And they're being hunted still. So the boy was kidnapped by the bad people, and then the other bad people tried to keep her, but they ran away, and then so now they're running, but they're being hunted. Thusly, the title, Hunted.
I see.
Yes. And that is my synopsis so far of the Chosen series.
Okay.
Okay. And that's all that I have read and am reading. It was a lot. A lot. So let's talk about watching. So we watched a lot of movies this week because there was not a lot on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first we rewatched the 1954 version of Sabrina, which I love. But my favorite is the 1995 version of Sabrina, and it made me cry, and the music, and I want her dress, and Harrison Ford, and Be Still My Heart.
There.
Sabrina. Sabrina Fair. And the Hubs and Damaris know my love of this movie, muchly. Dami watched it with me. The Hubs did not. He was riding or something. Why don't you talk about the next few while I kind of get my breath?
Okay, so we watched Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, a sequel to the 2011 Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I was never really big on the Lightning Thief because it went really far from the books. I was like a huge Percy Jackson and the Olympians fan when I was like 11 and 12.
Yeah. So what did you think of this one?
It was okay. Yeah, I'm still just like, because if I remember correctly, they should all be like small teenagers, not grown adults. They should all be like 13 in the second one. If I'm remembering right, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the woman that was in the tree is back.
Yes, Talia. I remembered that word.
Okay, what about the next
And
one?
we watched Cinderella.
The live action one.
Yeah.
With,
Lily James.
yes, from Downton Abbey.
Yes.
She played Rose in it.
Yeah.
And there was another Downton Abbey.
Yes, Sophie McShera.
Who played Daisy, the cook's
Daisy
assistant.
and Rose.
The cook's assistant.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
Yes, I love Disney movies.
I love Disney movies too. It's a secret obsession. We used to. This tells you how long ago this was. We had like 40 Disney movies on VHS tape.
Yes, including The Black Cauldron.
Which I hate.
Which they wouldn't let me watch.
Because it freaked me out as an adult.
I watched it for the first time when I was like 12, and I was like, why didn't you let me watch this? This isn't scary at all.
It freaked me out. It was so scary.
Then why did we still have the VHS?
Because we had a collection going. We had to get it before it got locked in the vault. Don't you remember this?
I do.
That they would release things for a certain time, and then they'd lock it in the vault and you couldn't get it. So you had to hunt at the store and be like, it's out of the vault, but where is it? They don't have it. Oh my gosh, this was before Amazon. What are we going to do? Yeah, so Cinderella. What else?
Yeah, we watched West Side Story.
Which you had never seen.
No.
What did you think?
I thought it had a happy ending. Stop snapping.
But it's West Side Story.
But I thought it had a happy ending.
No, it does not have a happy ending. I cried a lot. It'd been a while since I watched it, but yeah. Anything else you want to say about that? Okay. Do you want to talk about the next one?
Yeah, we watched the most... Mama, please. It had... Mother! It had the most... Stop it! We watched the most recent Fantastic Four, which came out earlier... I almost said earlier this year. It came out last year.
It was awful.
I I think it was about as good as the other Fantastic Fours. And I'm not super big on the other Fantastic Fours, but I don't like hate them. I think they're like okay, but you're just like. I'm sure everyone who worked on that movie really appreciates that.
I'm sure they do. I don't have anything else to say about that one, other than. What about the next one? You want to talk about it?
No, you talk about.
Oh my lord! Ugh, it was awful.
Oh my lord!
Pan. We watched Pan. That was the most bizarre retelling of Peter Pan that I have ever seen in my entire life. I was just like utterly confused and like, what the crap is going on here? What do you have to say about it? It was weird. It was weird. What else? Oh my goodness, we watched Inside Out and it made me cry. All the feels.
Literally.
Yes, all the feels, literally. I don't know how we had not watched it before.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't on our to watch list.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I thought I put it on there, but then it wasn't there. And then you were like, "What about Inside Out?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, how did we not watch this one?" So I liked it a lot, a lot. Yes.
Yes.
As compared to Minions, which I did not like at all.
You were suffering.
I was. The Hubs and I watched it. You didn't watch it.
No. I made the right choice.
You did. Because I was just like, what? See, there was too many movies this week that made me just go, what? I didn't enjoy it. You want to talk about the next one?
We watched Rent. I really liked it.
I cried a lot.
I cried. I really liked Angel. I didn't know she was going to die.
525,600 minutes.
I really liked it.
It was so good. I really enjoyed that.
And I didn't know Rosario Dawson was in it.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. And it was really cool because I was reading the trivia on IMDb, as one does, to everything we watch. I read all the trivia. I think it was 6 of the original Broadway cast were in the...
Yes, and I was trying to guess which ones.
You got half of them.
Yes.
And here's another bit of trivia for you. The guy from Law and Order...
I don't know.
He played Angel's, love.
Tay Diggs?
No.
No? Yes.
No.
Tay Diggs played Collins.
No, that's not...
You're thinking of the wrong person then, because Tay Diggs played Collins.
No, the one that went to the group with her.
Collins?
No.
I don't know who you're talking about.
IMDb, would you please assist me in this matter? See, there are some people that are going, you're right, Cece. We know who you're talking about, even though she doesn't. I'm right. Watch me be wrong now.
Yes, because I'm pretty sure I am thinking of the right person.
No, I don't think you are.
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 No. Jesse L. Martin played Collins.
Oh, then who did Tay Diggs play?
Benjamin.
I was wrong. Oops.
I'm glad you couldn't.
I was wrong.
Played,
Benny.
Yeah, Benny. So,
I was wrong.
Jesse L. Martin is from Law and Order, and apparently, and so he was one of the ones from the original Broadway cast, and so on Law and Order, he had to be wounded in the line of duty so that he could take time off to film Rent. So, and I had forgotten that Idina Menzel was in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like her a lot.
I was wrong. Oops.
And Tracy Toms, who played Joanne, is from Cold Case. That was on for a lot of like 150.
A lot of yada years.
Yeah, it was like 150 episodes or something.
I thought you were going to say 150 years.
It was on for 150 years. It was a long one. Yeah. And Wayne Wilcox, who played Marty on Gilmore Girls, was in it. And he sang. Yeah. We enjoyed that a lot. So sorry.
I like musicals.
Yes, we have a whole list of other musicals that we still need to watch.
But we forgone. We forgoed.
forgot.
We forgot the other musicals.
We set aside.
And watched the 2005 version of Pride and Prejudice because I realized I hadn't seen it and I wanted to watch it, and it was so.
I cried.
I love Pride and Prejudice. I love Austen. I'm a sucker for period drama.
The ending was so good. Oh my gosh, that whole last 10 minutes. But, and I said this yesterday, after having recently watched the Lizzie Bennet Diaries and reading the book of that and the book that Lydia's book, I don't remember what it was called. Anyway, my perception of what the character should look like was totally skewed. I was like, wait a minute, that's not Lizzie. Even though it was filmed prior to that.
Yes.
But we've watched the miniseries with Colin Firth in it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
Oh dear. I thought you had.
No, I just know about it.
We should put it on the
Colin
list, I
Firth.
guess. I thought you had seen it.
No.
Oh dear. Okay. We'll put that on the list. Oh dear.
You sound so distressed.
I'm distressed. Oh dear. We should have watched that one first.
Sorry. The soundtrack in it was really, really good.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Alright, anything else to say about that before we jump into TV? That was all movies. Don't worry, there's not a lot of TV.
Okay, no.
So you do the first couple.
We finished rewatching season 3 and have started rewatching season 4 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yes. Worf
is here.
Yes. Yes.
And we are rewatching season 2 of Star Trek Voyager.
Yes. I really love the episode with Harry where where he's in the time slip thing, and so he's back on Earth. Yeah, I really like that episode. Anything else you want to say about Star Trek?
No.
So I finished watching season 10 and started season 11 of Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
The mark is gone from Dean's arm.
Okay.
But now darkness has been released all over the world because Dean killed Death. Yes.
Isn't that a paradox?
No. It's a paradox.
But you can't kill Death.
Yes, but he was one of the 4 horsemen. So he was actually a person.
I thought you meant kill the abstract concept of death.
No, because they had already killed
Is
the...
death abstract concept?
I don't know. Anyway, because they had previously killed the other 3 horsemen.
Mm.
But Death, they had some kind of arrangement with Death. So he killed Death, and then the darkness was let out, and the mark of Cain got removed from his arm, but now the mark is on the woman who is darkness. So there was this woman, but there's also darkness was released. And then they were trying to save this baby that they found in the hospital. When the darkness came out, it affected these people, and they were attacking, and they killed all this family on the road, and then they were taking the deputy to the hospital, and they had killed all the people in the hospital except for the dad, and this baby had hidden in a janitor's closet, but the dad had been infected, but the baby hadn't. But then the baby has the mark of Cain on it. That was the ending of the episode that I just watched. The deputy, because the dad gave the deputy the baby, and she was changing the baby's diaper and saw the mark, but I don't think she knows what the mark is. It got really dark all of a sudden. Darkness was released. But season 11 is the current season, so I'm about to be caught up with them.
Okay.
He killed Death. Yeah. The husband and I are also watching season 2 of Grimm. And so he now knows that the captain is one of the royals, and he woke up his girlfriend from the coma, but now the spell has his captain and his girlfriend linked together passionately. And so now they're trying to break the spell. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's getting even darker in here. Daenerys fixed things and brought the light back after the darkness was released.
Yep.
Yep. I'm going to save that one for last. Let's do the other three, and then I'll come back to that one.
Okay.
So do you want to talk about this next one?
Okay, Gallivant came back for season 2.
It's so ridiculous.
But it's so good. It's a musical TV show. And the music composer is a Disney.
I know, but it's so ridiculous. I mean, like, because they are doing it 2 half-hour episodes back-to-back for 5 weeks. And the first episode, they're singing about that they know that they're a TV show, and despite what all the critics say, they're back, and the guy from Downton Abbey was, like, getting mad and didn't want Gallivant to sing the theme song. And the girl thinks because they had bad reception through the scepter and the pendant, thinks that he hates her, and so she's given up. But he's still going after her. In song.
Of course. Is there any other way?
To go after someone when they have not heard what you actually said through the scepter.
Yes.
What would you like to say about this show?
I love it. I love musicals.
I know. It's one of those that you can't not watch. What about the next one?
Supergirl
It's
is
back.
back. Okay, so we're watching season 1. And...
Kat.
Yes.
Kat. So in the last episode, Kat revealed to Kara that she knows she's Supergirl, but Kara managed to convince her that she's not Supergirl because the guy from Mars took on her appearance and appeared to Kat at the same time that Kara did, and so they've convinced her that she's really not Supergirl.
But she is.
But she is.
They can't know that.
No.
No one can know that.
Well, except for
everyone else.
Except for James and
Wynn
and
Alex and Johns and
and all the people at the DOE. DEO?
No, not all the people at the DEO.
DEO. They just know that they're Supergirl. They don't know who she is.
Yes, they don't know about her secret identity. These are like Clark Kent glasses.
So is it like, it's Dami, it's Damaris? No, it's Dami both times?
It's super Dami.
Okay, anything else you want to say about Supergirl?
No.
Okay, and then the hubs that are watching season 7 of NCIS LA. Speaking of NCIS non-LA, I got spoiled on Facebook this morning. I'm going to spoil you for NCIS if you haven't seen the news. Apparently, Michael Weatherly, who plays Agent Tony DiNozzo...
No, very special agent.
Agent Tony DiNozzo is leaving at the end of this season.
I'm sorry.
They better not kill him.
He's been in the show, like...
All of it, since the beginning.
The beginning, all of it.
He was even in the... JAG episodes of it.
Mm-hmm. It has been many years.
It has, because it's
been like 15 years since the first episode of JAG, wasn't it? 14?
I can't remember what season we're on, because there's a new one that was on last night.
I think we're on season 13.
I want to say it's 13. So, and then there was the JAG episodes before that.
So I want to say maybe 13 or 14 years.
Let's see what it says
That's
here.
a long time.
It is. 294 episodes.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, we're in season 13 right now.
Good golly.
Yeah. So, yeah, since 2003. That's a lot of years. But I'm very sad about this. Yeah.
It's okay.
They better not kill him. They better not kill him off.
I know, you will fight them.
I will. I will
Send
yell
a
at them.
strong-
Oh!
What?
We did not talk about that Deep Space Nine changed their theme song!
Oh my gosh. Jeez, you scared me. Oh my word.
They changed their theme song
Oh my word. Okay.
for season 4.
Yeah. Jeez, you scared me. Yeah, so for like the first few measures of it, it's like the same song. It's got the same beat and tempo and stuff, but then it speeds up. And the rest, and it's got this beat in the background that wasn't there before. And let me tell you,
I'm not happy about it.
just listen to the City of Prague Philharmonic version. It will make you happy. It's very nice.
Okay, so we should talk about Sherlock.
Yes.
The New Year's special. The Abominable Bride.
Yes.
So, I have a few notes here that I took during my second watching of it.
Mhm.
Because this was another, what? Episode? So he says, 221B Baker Street.
Yes.
Watson's mustache.
More like everyone's mustache.
Oh my goodness. Sherlock describing Mary as the client when she was dressed as the bride and John didn't know it was her. That was hysterical. And Watson thinks it was a secret twin that nobody knows about.
Yeah. Obviously. It's always
Yeah. It's been that way since prior to conception. It was a secret. They planned it.
Yes.
And John, I'm glad you like my potato.
Because he doesn't know how to do sign language.
Nope. And Mycroft and Mary working together. So, yeah. So
What did you think?
So this episode mostly happened in his mind palace.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bit on the plane, but apparently he was high on something. And so, is it trying to tell us that Moriarty faked his death, like the Abominable Bride did? Is that what it's trying to tell us?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So really, we only saw like 5 minutes past what we had previously seen.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, they're not going to start filming for next series until April, and so I think it's not going to come out till next year.
Yeah.
2017.
That's usually how it is.
So
Are you willing to wait for it?
I am willing to wait for it, but I'm just like, what? I think a lot of people were like, what?
I appreciated the Victorian
I
aesthetic.
did. Oh, yeah. It was really, really nice. But just like in the scheme of like what's happening, it's like, what? Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I mean, I watched it a second time and enjoyed it, but I was like, what? So, I think we should move on to the next segment, because I think this segment is like 37 minutes long. I don't know really how long it is, but it feels like it. Because we said there was not a lot of TV to talk about, and then what happened?
There weren't. There were
There
a lot
wasn't.
of movies.
There was a lot of movies and... What? Let's go to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about our December, January, February Winter Wonderland Cal and Charity Cal.
Yes, so we're into the second month.
Oh, yeah.
So this started December 1st and runs through the 29th of February. Mm-hmm. It's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to winter. Dami, please tell us.
Dami.
Tell us.
You can do that by the color, like blues or silvers or whites, or the colorway name or pattern or design element or purpose. Or if you can't think of anything like that, you made it in the winter.
That's right. No whips are allowed in this one. So you had to start it December 1st or later and finish by the 29th of February. So for every project you finish, you get one entry into the FO thread. But if you knit something that you're going to donate to charity, knit, crochet, or weave, I don't know that you would spin something for charity. Knit, crochet, or weave something for charity, you can post it twice in the FO thread, so you're getting an extra entry. You need to look at the second post in the FO thread because it gives you the outline of what you need, how you need to post it so that you'll have the 2 entries. Feel free to double dip in other cows. You can donate your FOs to any charity you want to.
Yep.
You just need to put that when you post it in the FO thread, or if you want to send them to us, we're going to donate to Knit for Peace. Once we have a collection of stuff, which we have a bag of preemie hats right now. Quite a few preemie hats. We donated during the after the Geeky Puff and Knitpalooza. We donated a whole bag of stuff to them because for the public to come into the vendor market, they could either pay or they could donate an item for charity. So, you must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry. The hashtag is GGKWWK. We'll lock the thread the morning of the 1st of March and draw winners on the next podcast. And you'll have 30 days to claim your prize. And there's a chatter thread. This is the first podcast of the month, though, so now we get to tell you in detail about the prizes.
Oh, boy.
Yes. So first up, Bree, who is...
I think it's Bray, who's Bray9.
There you go. She's donated 1 coupon code to my Ravelry pattern store. It's for $5.50, so you can either get a single pattern or discount that amount off of an ebook. Next up, from Lola, who is Thalia of Third Vault Yarns, we have a skein of her Echo DK base yarn in the Autumn Burst colorway. Then Eileen from Twisting Pearls, who is Twisting Pearls on Ravelry, donated a skein of Highland Handmade sock yarn in the Should You Need Us colorway, plus the winner's choice of a sock pattern from Ravelry valued at $6 US or less. Julia, who is Nimrus of Pandia's Jewels, donated a set of Star Trek Sheepy badges. We have a bag of Geeky Puff and Knitpalooza goodies. It's got a tape measure, a needle stopper by Knitting in France, a Star Trek Expendable badge from Pandia's Jewels, crochet hook keyring and stitch markers from Leslie Taylor. And then from Amy of Amy's Not Dead Yet, we have a Sherlock notebook. And then from Leslie Taylor, we have a crochet hook keyring and stitch markers. And then we have 2 new prizes just donated this week. Mary, who is Jammin' to Knit, donated 2 single patterns from her Ravelry pattern store. So that makes 9 prizes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 10 commandments.
So with that, and if you want to see, I mean, we've put those on the screen as we were going here, but if you want to see the photos and read about the prizes, you can look at the show notes, because that's where they're listed. So now, Mare, would you tell us now, Dami, would you please tell us, I'm trying really hard, because I really want people to call me Cece and not Christy, and so I'm trying to respect Dami's decision and call her that, but it's ingrained. I call her Mare all the time.
Yes, you can still call me that, but
yeah, I'm trying really hard.
I know you are.
I'm trying.
Okay, so now all the people
who finished in the last week.
That's a lot.
Because it was the end of the month. That's why.
Oh,
because there are cows that close at the end of a month. So that's why we get an influx of them at the end of the month. Okay, go.
Abby In, Allison Roseboom ×3, Army Tink 08, Billin 87, Celeste ×2, C Howard 06 ×2, Crochet Chick 31, DG White, Dragonfly 7673 ×2, Ellie 15, Girl in Knots, Jammin' to Knit, Jennifer Lee S, Katie Kitty J, Knit 1 Brew 2 ×3, Christine Agnes, Little Angel SG2, Little Panda 518 ×2, Elle McCall ×2, Looney Hiker, Mama Bug 89 ×2, Maria Wilhelmina ×8, Master Box P 248, Muzzer Z ×5, Pennygale, Piper's Mom ×3, Rainbow Ange, Rouge CMC, RS Islands Crafts ×2, Scrap Fair ×2, The VFB ×5, and Twisting Pearls.
Good job, everybody.
Yay!
So keep going. You have just under 2 months to get your projects done. All right, we're going to tell you about the new cow for next year. This year. It's 2016. This year, there's a cow. We're doing a year long. Here it comes.
And now we're going to talk about our 52 weeks of charity cow.
Yes, so this is a brand new cowl that I thought of between last week's show and this week. Because there were some people who posted FOs that they were donating to charity, saying they were inspired by my 52 preemie hats that I knit in 2015. And I was like, you know what? We should have a 52 weeks of charity cowl. So, this started on January 1st and it'll run through December 31st. It's for any project that you knit, crochet, or weave that you donate to charity. To be eligible for the prizes, you have to complete 52 items over the course of 2016, but it doesn't necessarily have to be one a week. So, like in November, when I was doing Nanny Swemo, I didn't do preemie hats for like 3 weeks, but then once I was done with my Nanny Swemo sweater, I caught up with them. So, you don't have to do one strictly every week, you just have to do 52 over the course of the year. And no whips are allowed January 1st or later. And double dip with other cowls, so you can enter both the 52 weeks of charity cowl and the Winter Wonderland charity cowl, and Winter Wonderland and charity cowl, plus other podcast cowls. I'm going to tell you about the prizes in a minute. So what you need to do, there's an FO thread in the group. You need to, you're going to only have one post in this thread, in the FO thread. And you're going to edit it every time you finish something else. So what you need to do is you start your post in the FO thread, and there's a sample of how to do it, but in like the second post. But at the top, you need to put like what your total number is so far, and then you need to list and put a photo of each item as you go, and then just go in and edit it. So I like bookmarked my post, so it's in my favorites, so that I can find it easily. So only one post per person. One post per person. You can donate to whatever charity you would like to, a group in your area, a national charity, or if you want to send them to us, we'll donate to Knit for Peace. I did want to tell you, there is Jasmine and Gigi of the Knitmore Girls are doing a 25,000 toques. Is that how you say it? I don't know how you say it. Hats. Thing, which I've linked to the thread in their Ravelry group about it, but they are being a part of knitting hats for the refugees who are coming over. I think it's somewhere in Canada that's heading it up, but they are doing some prizes and stuff for it. So if you want to read more about that, that would be a great one to donate to. You could do preemie hats, you can do hats for the homeless, you can do sweaters, blankets. There's the Click for Babies. That's the one I couldn't think of last week. Click for Babies, which is the purple hats to talk about to remind you about the time of period of crying that babies go through, and they found that by doing this that it reduces the shaken baby syndrome incidents that have happened. So you could do that. You could knit stuff for a nursing home, a retirement home, whatever. Any charity you would like, any type of item you like. It doesn't have to be necessarily hats. That's what I'm doing. And you can do different things. You could do 10 hats and 10 washcloths and 5 blankets and 10 shawls, or whatever. It can be a mix and match. So it just has to be donated to charity. You have to be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry to participate. The hashtag is GGK52 WOC, Weeks of Charity, Cal 16. It's in the show notes and in the thread in the group. And then I'll lock the thread the morning of January 1st, 2017, and then we'll draw for prizes. You'll have 30 days to claim your prize. There's a chatter thread in the group. And here's how we're going to do the prizes. So right off the bat, I am donating 1 skein of West Yorkshire Spinner's yarn. I'm not sure which one what it'll be yet, but that's that. And then for every 7 people that complete the 52 items, I will add another skein of West Yorkshire Spinner's yarn. And then Mary, who is Jammin' to Knit, has donated 3 single patterns from her Ravelry shop. If you'd like to donate a prize to this, just contact us and let us know. We are not going to announce people finishing stuff every week like we do with our normal cow. What we will do is when somebody finishes 52 items, we will celebrate with them on the podcast. because otherwise we're going to have the same names every week for 52 weeks or something. So, so that is the 52 weeks of Charity Cal. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you'll join in with me to do things for charity. We were talking last week about ways to use up worsted weight yarn. That was one of the Ask the Geeky Girls question last week. And so this is a great way to do it, knitting preemie hats or hats for babies or children or chemo caps. So, yeah, we hope you'll join in on the fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe I can convince Doris to do 12. Maybe one a month instead of 52 weeks. We'll see. So if you have any questions about that, post them in the thread in the Ravelry group or send me a PM and we will answer that. Yep. So that's the new Cal. All right. I think we have a question that needs to be answered.
Yep.
Let's move on.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them.
Yeah, the question's for me this week, and so I'm going to talk some more. Man, my voice is going, so we'll see what happens.
So this week's question comes from Chelsea, who is crack off from Pennsylvania. Cece, you periodically mention having a bullet journal. I would love to get more organized. I was wondering if you would be willing to tell/show how it's set up and how you use it.
So this was a new question, but I bumped it up because I thought some people might be interested in doing a bullet journal in 2016. Mm-hmm. So I thought I would answer it now while it's still early in the year. So first off, I want to mention the official bullet journal website, which is bulletjournal.com. There's video and details there for how to generally set up a bullet journal. But if you go to, there's some links across the top right of the page, and I think it's called Library. And it's like a blog of different ways people are using journals. So like when I clicked on it earlier, there was like somebody doing a food log and it showed how they did it. So, and then there was lots of other things. So there's lots of examples like that. So I have been using a bullet journal for 3 or 4 years, I think. And it's modified over time because I've figured out different ways that things work for me. So what is working for me right now is this. Don't you love my stickers? So this is a journal from Castelli. I don't know if you can read it, which is a UK brand. But I really like it because I can replace the notebook. So this year I am doing blank page journal instead of lined pages. So here in the very beginning, I have an index. So that's one of the key things to the bullet journal is you do this index and then as I need more pages, I just put in the next page number and that way I can easily find stuff. My word for this year is renew, so that's why that's there. I'm covering this up because it's my phone number in case my journal gets lost. And I have these really cool stickers that are monthly that I put on the inside. And I make my own post-it notes with a notepad and washi tape. So here's what I'm kind of doing this year. First up, I have a page that has my 2016 goals. And then the next page is for finished projects. So I finished one project so far this year. I use washi tape. I love it. Next up, I have my book proofing editing job because I thought you were trying to get my attention. Oh, okay. Because I keep track of, so like the book I'm working on right now, when we finish it, I'll make a note and put also how long because I get paid per finished hour. But then I have to invoice the company for that, and then it can take up to 30 days for the invoice to be paid. So by keeping a list of it, I can make sure that nothing slipped through the cracks. And then the next page is for my 2016 design releases. So first up will be this Sarah Jane pattern will be coming out of exclusivity about a week and a half. And then what I have next is I do week grids. And what I put on these weekly pages is design, just so Java Pearl design stuff and knitting stuff. But I also keep track of what project I worked on certain days. So like this day I did my faster than light socks. I made one zigzag and I worked on the puntilla. So I have those. So I did a month's worth of those with lots of fun washi tape. I can't show this one too up close. This is my Coffee with CC page with like a list of all the patterns, what I have sent to be tech edited, whether it's come back to me, all the dates for stuff that's due, that I need to do stuff, the must-have things that I want to put in the book, miscellaneous stuff. So that's what this page is very important, and I reference it quite a lot right now. And then I have daily pages. So on my daily pages, I don't want to show stuff that's too personal, so let me get to a page that it's not. So, for example, this is on a Sunday, and I have a box next to items that I need to get done that day. The circle is for a place that I need to go. So like this is church, and the hubs and I are both serving communion that day. So there's that note. So I have that. And then on this side of the page, I write down 3 things that I'm thankful for or grateful for. Eucharisteos is what I call them, which is from the 1000 Gifts book by Ann Voskamp, if you want to know more about that. So I list those there, and then the rest of the page I use for just notes and random things. I journal there. I also use lots of Post-its when I'm carrying things over from page to page. And then the last page I think that I have right now is a tracking page where I track how many steps I've taken that day, how much sleep I got that day, how much water I drank that day, and how much of my extra pain medication I had to take that day. And that way I can just look and see at a quick glance pattern stuff of what's going on. And then I have more Post-it notes of stuff. So that's how I'm doing it this year. I have in the past done a 2-page spread of the week, but I didn't really need that. It's enough to just have the 1 week on a page. I've done a monthly spread before, but that just didn't work very well for me. I've also done where I only did it 1 day at a time, but then I had stuff that I needed to write down for later in the month, and then it ended up with 37 zillion Post-it notes. So I write out all the days of the month, 1 month at a time. So at the end of December, I did all of January's, and that way I could write stuff in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I hope that helps. That's how I set up my bullet journal. But there's no right or wrong way to set it up. You just need to do what works best for you. I still keep a digital calendar. We use Google Calendar, and we have lots of calendars that we all share. So, like, I have a general calendar for me. You have a general calendar for you. The Hubs has a general calendar for him. We have a family calendar. But then I also have, like, a design calendar. We have the GGK Crafty Pad calendar. I think there's more than that. But we all 3 share those on all our digital devices so that we can all see at a glance what's going on for each other. And see, I want to do this day with the family. Is anybody have something already for that time? So I do still use that so that we can connect the 3 of us, but I need the paper. I've tried to do it all digitally with different apps and stuff in the past, but I need the paper. And this year I'm doing it in pencil. I've done it previously in pen with lots of different colors and stuff, but this paper is fairly thick paper, but I was using fountain pens and it just leaks through the pages too much. So I decided to do pencil because I like to be able to erase things. And yeah, that's my bullet journal. But definitely check out the bulletjournal.com website and look through their library of stuff because there's lots of great suggestions. And just start with what you think might work and then just modify it over time as you use it. And yeah, bullet journal. I love it. I would be lost without my brain. I call this my brain. And I also think it's very funny. I didn't show this when I was showing it earlier. The bookmark that I use for my page of where my steps and sleep and stuff are is a poison bottle. Because I keep track of my medicine on there. So it's funny. But I use a lot of those magnetic bookmarks. So like I use the ones that got a peace symbol on it. I have a bunch of those that I use to mark pages that I reference a lot, like the steps page, the coffee with CC page, the FOs page, things like that. So there you go. That's my bullet journal.
Mm-hmm.
So Mare, if somebody has a question for us, what should they do while I get a drink?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
That's right, and we'll answer it. Usually we answer them in the order that they're asked, but sometimes, like we did this week, we pull one up and answer it if it's more time sensitive. So, and we'll answer pretty much anything. I don't think there's been anything that we've said no on.
Nope.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next segment because we have a winner of a giveaway. Here we go. We made it to the end of the show.
Yay!
So we have a giveaway that we're giving away this week. This was donated to us by One Hook Double Stitch. This is the Bailey yarn base, which is 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon, sock weight, 100 grams, 400 yards in the unicorn tail colorway. I'm dropping my sock that I'm knitting. And you also get 2 stitch markers, an owl and a ladybug. That one's backwards. Ladybug. And I have mine like this. I've got one that's a bird like this on my zigzag blanket, and I love it. So that's the yarn we're giving away. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of entries in this.
Because it's so beautiful.
It is very beautiful. And I hope y'all enjoyed looking at her shop because we asked them to tell us what their favorite colorway is. So, Mare, we have a winner. Do you want to announce the winner?
Sure. The winner was post number 47, Victoria, who is Princess Bumps.
Yay, Victoria.
Yay.
So, Princess Bumps, I need you to PM me Java Pearl on Ravelry with your full name and mailing address. She's won something, I believe, in the past, but I don't think I still have her address. So, PM me as soon as you see this. And also, Morgan, who is the dyer of One Hook Double Stitch, gave us a coupon code for 10% off in her Etsy shop, which is onehookdoublestitch.etsy.com. So 10% off until the end of January, and that code is all capital letters, Geeky10, Geeky, number 10. And all that is in the show notes as well. So, thank you so much, Morgan. All right. Do we have any announcements to make other than our normal stuff?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So we'd like to say a huge thank you to our Patreon sponsors. If you don't know what this is, it's a website where you can sign up to donate to the podcast monthly. And depending on what level you sign up for and donate at, you get different rewards every month. Like being entered into a giveaway for yarn or a pattern, postcards from Scotland, discount coupons for my Ravelry Patterns shop, a monthly VKN. So there's lots and lots of different reward levels that you can sign up for, and we really appreciate our Patreon sponsors. It's a great way to help the podcast and help us pay for all the behind-the-scenes stuff. We're needing to update some technology-related stuff and such, so if you can help out in that way, we appreciate it. You can learn more about this by going to patreon.com/geekygirlsknit. If you want to donate in another way, if you want to do a one-time donation, you can donate using the PayPal button on our website, which is
geekygirlsknit.com.
That's right. Or if you're shopping on Amazon.com or .co.uk, if you go to our website first and click one of the links to Amazon, Amazon will then give us a little money back based on what you purchase. We don't know who is purchasing what. We just get like a report of this is what was purchased and this is how much we earned per item. And that helps us pay for shipping for prizes and purchasing prizes and things like that. So if you're going to shop on Amazon, please click through our website first. All right, Mare, why don't you tell them where to find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are the links to everywhere else we're online. YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
That's right. Well, with that, we will tell you goodbye. We hope you have a wonderful... I finished this row of my sock. I'm putting the thing We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. We hope that 2016 has started wonderfully for you and that you have many exciting and lovely things planned for this year. And that we hope that you will participate in the 52 Weeks of Charity Cal. We're very, very excited about that. So until next week, happy knitting. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear. 525,600 minutes, how do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, in strife. In 525,600 minutes, how do you measure a year in the life? How about love? How about love? How about love? Measure in love, seasons of love.